I'm gonna present on narrative strategy of B2B technology brands, and I'm Prashant from third semester IBE. So let's start. So we'll look to the agenda. So today's agenda will be introduction, conceptual background, methodology, then findings, and at the end conclusion and recommendations. So let's start with the introduction. So, what is basically B2B narrative of technological brand? So, we see there are like a lot of technological company which come in the market, and but the normal people, they are not aware about the technological technology, how it works in the market. Like for example, if we talk about AI, ML, or if we talk about any product from the Cisco brand, no one aware about like how to use and what is it, and what is the new technology which is coming in the market. So basically these are the today's topic we're gonna discuss. And there are some questions we will try to answer. Like first is like how B2B narratives are structured, and second, the implication of narrative approach in B2B tech firm. And at the end we will see how which media basically we try to use to create a strategy on creating a B2B narrative. So in the, in the second in the conceptual background, we see there are different kind of mode of narrative. So pa- paradigmatic and narrative mode. The second is meta narrative. So basically this entire narrative is like a storytelling. So there are different way of telling the story which circulate in the society to give a brief idea about the technology. And and here in the third slides we see like there are like different kind of journey we see. The first the different kind of the different type, like first we see the brand storytelling is completely different from the customer uh, the B2B is storytelling. So in the first one, in the brand storytelling, we okay, customer journey and then touch point. And customer journey is basically the customer is having uh, it passes through the different steps, like how we it reaches at the end. And at the last we have touch point individual storytelling, which is basically based on B2C customer. So here in this slice we see uh, different kind of narrative. We see like first is brand awareness, which is basically done by the social media channel like Facebook or Instagram, which is directly hitting to the customer. And second is or audience centered. For example, one company is dealing with other companies, so in that case we see like different kind of company managers who is basically holding the meeting and try to understand the company product. So that is basically the audience centered narrative, which and at the end decision retention for individual, which is after sales. For example, if product is already bought by some other customer, so in that case the technology is completely new for somebody, so he or she is trying to look on the different kind of FAQ or like video content which might be helpful for him or her to understand the entire technology. So methodology. In methodology, we try to see the case study on IBM Watson, which is based on AI and ML, and Cisco Internet of Everything. And and narrative can be also discussed between the experts on TV ad. For example, we see like a lot of interview which is happening between the uh, CTO, which is technical officer, and between some other experts. So they try to make it easy for a normal customer to understand what is happening behind the scene. And in the third case, we see the data source from which area we are trying to collect the data, which is website, company blog, employee, social media, YouTube events, etc. So these are we see in IBM Watson. uh, what they did is when they launched in 2013, I guess 2013. So it was completely in the market. So they tried to organize a TEDx event. In TEDx event, the company, the other normal other company, they have different they have view on their own technology, how they came up with this new technology, and how can this helpful and beneficial for the normal customer and normal market. In the findings, we see Cisco meta narrative and the story, uh, and the IBM meta narrative. So there is one sort of story on the Cisco. One cyclist was saved, and how it is saved. So the question is, because we use the latest technology, which is Internet of Things. So what happened here is the cyclist was somehow connected with the internet, and this cycle gave when cyclist got injured, the cycle gave a signal to the local ambulance, local hospital, which was connected with the ambulance, and then ambulance was came to the place where the cyclist got injured. So the ambulance got the GPS location of cyclist, and it came and saved the cyclist. And in the second meta narrative, the IBM storytelling. Uh, for example, if we see the airlines company, they cannot analyze the thing like by looking to the normal stat of the machine. So they use the advanced AI method and ML method to analyze the entire machine, where the fault can happen and how it can be reduced. And there is one more example. We see here the tennis matches. So basically here, what happened is the somebody who is completely new to the tennis. So the entire Serena Williams um uh, thing is recorded, and which is given on IBM Watson, which IBM Watson analyzed the entire data, and help the normal person to understand the matches. So basically, it points out the performance and the competition in the market, in the matches, and which help the normal player. And the second finding is, uh, we talk. We see how this narrative is helping the people and organization to reduce the cultural tension. And some latest, and for example, new 5G technology is coming in the market. So in this case, the company who is established and who is investing in the market, they can create a narrative in the market, for with the normal customer to understand how 5G work and how it can be beneficial. So in that case, we see how this new technology is helping with this narrative. And at the last, the conclusion and recommendation, we see how IBM and Cisco uses the transmedia strategy to recreate the narrative. And narrative strategy of both film is supported on new skill, either internally or hiring a staff. So this is like we are discussing on how the narrative is created. So either we can have a new employee who can create a narrative, and who can look in the internal function, how company is working and how external is working. So they try to analyze he try to analyze the entire information and create a narrative for the company. So at the end, so this was from all from my side, and thank you for your attention. If you have any question, we can discuss. Thank you. And these are the some extra link which can be discussed with the in the meeting. And if somebody have some extra question, can put in the chat. Thank you.